Okay. Hello and welcome to Fresh Perspectives. My name is Gail, and my guest today is Kay Barlow. She's director and teacher of Growing with Music Together since 2000. Thank you for coming on, Kay.
Oh, it's just fun. This is my subject.
Oh,
this
yeah.
is my most passionate
it is.
subject.
You know, I wanted to mention that on my last episode, I was interviewing somebody who does real life legacy. She helps people write their memoirs, and your mom came up in the conversation because I remembered that she had loaned Carl and I, your mom had loaned Carl and I a book one time that she had written about her own life. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. And some of the cute things she said about it, like playing pranks on Halloween. And was there something in it about a pig? I was trying to remember the other day. Did you have a pet pig when you were a little kid?
I had a pet pig. I called it Whitey.
Oh.
And my grandfather, he had pigs. It was the mortgage buster.
The mortgage buster?
For a grape farmer in those days. So he had a barn full of pigs. And I would spend my summers at the farm in Fredonia. And the sow had a litter, and they would get separated. And my sister and I would dress the pigs in doll clothes and drive them around in our buggies. And one just took to me and decided to follow me wherever I went.
So you got to keep it as a pet?
No, I didn't get to keep the piggy. He probably went to the market eventually.
No.
At one point in time, I did have a goat that I got to keep.
Oh, okay.
But the interesting thing is I wound up on this same farm.
Oh, you live there now?
Oh, yeah, for many years.
Oh, isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Now, it didn't occur to me until I saw Grace Grimes' obituary in the newspaper that it said that her maiden name was Harris, and your mother's married name was Harris, and Carol and I made the connection then.
Well,
was it her brother that your mother married?
No, it was a very, very distant, maybe cousins. There's a lot of Harrises.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I just wondered because I know they were always really good friends with each other.
Yeah,
so
I just went to her estate sale.
Oh, you did?
It was last weekend.
Oh, I didn't even know about it.
And I just got a couple things to remember Grace by.
Yeah. Yeah, she was pretty amazing. Now, how old were you when you first started learning music?
I was young. I was very young, and it was because my grandparents, this place I loved to visit, they had a player piano in the front parlor. And long before my legs were long enough, I would stand on those pumping pedals to
you
make
would
it
stand
go.
on them.
And they had the paper rollers, and it would play these songs. And I would try to make my fingers, because the keys would go up and down. And I was very young, toddler, probably toddler.
Wow.
Actual lessons I started when I was 4.
Oh.
So I read music notes. Read musical notation before I read words. But that was because I had a sister who was 11 months older than I. And she loved that old player piano so much that it got brought to our house. And then since we had a piano in our house, this was a little town of Franklinville, then she got to take lessons.
Oh.
She was 5.
Okay.
So then she would come home and teach me everything she had learned. And so my parents decided I might as well take also. So I started at a young age.
Oh, okay. Do you play other kinds of instruments, or just the pianos and organs and so forth.
Yeah, I've been a church organist, choir director for a very, very long time, since high school, actually.
Oh, okay.
And other instruments I play are instruments that I've picked up along the way, but I haven't played those as long, so I don't play those so well. But I play the ukulele and the guitar. And
so it's mainly stringed instruments and
but keyboard
type
more.
Instruments. Okay. Yeah, I think that the ukuleles are getting quite popular. I've been seeing a lot of young people with them, I've noticed.
Well, where I'm from in Fredonia, there's a professor at the college who got a grant to spread ukulele playing into the community.
Oh.
And there are ukulele jams the last Friday of every month. There are ukuleles at the Fredonia Barker Library that you can check out just like you check a book.
Really? Oh my gosh.
And these jam sessions are a riot. They're a lot of fun. They have a big screen like karaoke. And they have background music. The words are there. There's charts that say, okay, play a C chord. Well, C chord is just one string. You put one finger on one string. You know, then you switch. It tells you when to switch. And it's a lot of fun. And they do modern songs. Well, modern to me. Like Taylor Swift, Shake It Off. Shake it off. So it's a lot of fun. All age people go.
Yeah, that does sound like you've had a lot of fun being a musician.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And, now, how did you happen to come to being a music teacher to very young children?
Well, when I graduated high school, I was very active musically, and I went to college to be an art teacher. But
like with painting and stuff? Oh, okay.
I like that too. They kind of go together.
Yeah, yeah.
But I really wasn't able to get up in time and be very creative at a drawing class I had first thing my very first semester. I'm not a really good early morning person.
Oh, I see.
And somehow I decided I missed music and I switched. So when I graduated from college, I had a degree, a bachelor's degree in music education, and I went out into the world to be a music teacher. And I never really gave that up. For many years, I didn't teach music. This is back in the dark ages when if you got married and had a family and you became pregnant, you weren't allowed to be pregnant in the classroom. So I kind of got out of music teaching, and I was married to a man, we moved a lot. So I started picking up administrative kinds of work. And eventually it wound up being arts administration. So I was always in the arts. And I always had a piano studio, even though I would have a full-time job running whatever. So eventually I left the arts administration in 1999, and I needed some employment.
Almost 2 decades ago.
Yeah, I've been doing my retirement job a long time. So this is when the internet was first available to do searches, and I kept looking. I decided that I always loved being with children and music. And I kept looking around until I found a wonderful curriculum called Music Together that fit into the schedule I already had and would train me on how to deal with music and little kids. And it was a program of parent-child classes. And I had already been involved in parent-child classes. I ran the Adams Art Gallery for, I guess, about 15 years and set up all kinds of parent-child classes. So it all just kind of fell into place.
Yep. Okay, yeah. Now, some people are probably wondering if babies aren't too young to learn about music. What do you say to that?
Oh, I have a long answer. That, I guess the ages from when a baby is born until probably age 6, around there, those first 6 years are what I call the sponge stage, where children learn just sort of like osmosis. They just kind of take it in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they pick up foreign languages really quickly.
Oh, yeah. And as far as music goes, music is natural to young children. When a baby is born, the sense that is really developed is the sense of sound and their ability to hear. I've learned that babies are hearing still in the womb, you know, maybe the last 3 months, so when they're born, they know their mother's voice. Mm-hmm. They're acquainted with rhythm just from their mother's motion, mm-hmm. and they have the capability of making sound. I mean, what's the first thing they do? Wah! So it's very, very natural. And parents say to me, oh, my child just loves music. And they bounce, you know, they kick their legs. Mm-hmm. There's reflex actions to favorite songs. Mm-hmm. And so if you know what to look for, it's very, very natural. And as soon as they stand up or can pull up, they do this trunk bounce, mm-hmm. you know, and they keep the beat. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they do. I can remember my son being a baby just during his first few months. And I can remember him having a rattle in one hand and shaking it exactly to the exact rhythm mm-hmm. of some music that mm-hmm. was playing. Mm-hmm. And
you were astounded.
I know.
A musical genius.
What's going on here? You know, I didn't know that babies could do that. But
the music together philosophy, the concepts behind their curriculum, is that all people are musical. Mm-hmm. We all are musical, and we have this misconception that talent just exists in very, you know, maybe 15% of the population, but it's your experiences. If you're immersed, if a baby is put into a musical environment, or if you create a musical environment at home, your baby is going to be musical. Your baby is going to learn to sing on pitch and keep a beat. Mm-hmm. And that's what this program is all about, is developing musicians. Because ever since technology has created ways to record music, then we have become consumers of music.
Yes.
Rather than music makers. So the program that I teach is everybody's a music maker. And it doesn't matter what your skill level is, you'll get so you think you're pretty good just by doing it. You know, little kids develop confidence, parents learn to sing on pitch, they've never had a chance before. So there's many wonderful things that happen. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And people shouldn't be afraid to sing or anything just because maybe they think they can't carry a tune, right?
Probably the most prevalent story that I hear from adults is, well, I was asked to just mouth the words in some school group, or oh, I was told that I really couldn't sing, just don't bother trying out for chorus. Or, I wish I could have taken piano lessons or played an instrument, but my school just didn't have anything. And on and on. And there's all this desire. So this program feeds right into that, because here are these parents and grandparents. I see a lot of grandparents who wanted to do this, and now they have this bundle of joy. And there's these programs these days. When I was a kid, there wasn't programs like
I know.
this.
I wanted to be a professional dancer when I grew up, but there weren't really classes available back then. And I finally got to learn some things when I was like 50 years old,
I know
that I'd wanted to when I was a little girl. So how does a music class benefit the children?
Well, I once made a poster of 5 reasons to sign your child up for music class. And I stopped using it because I noticed I spelled a word wrong.
Oh.
But it does benefit children many ways. One way is it approaches children, it's there the way children are ready to learn, which is through play.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not instruction, it's not teaching concepts, it's experiential. So you put egg shakers in the hands. Oh, yeah. So it's just a very natural thing for children to do, and besides, they love it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're rhythmical. The biggie, I think, is that it builds ways for the child to achieve academic success. So we are born, it's the nature, nurture, environmental, you know, what's natural to through your genes, and what do you develop from the environment that you are placed in. So when you're born, we have all this possibility in our brain. They call it neural pathways.
Mm-hmm.
And we are a universe of vibration.
Right.
And
right.
harmonics.
Right.
So music tunes using those pathways, tunes you up and kind of lines up your brain for life as a human being.
Uh-huh. They call it neuroplasticity.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And so for that, and then nowadays there's studies for everything. Mm-hmm. So they have ways of measuring this for young children who are in musical environment versus how they succeed academically versus kids who are not. And in Head Start programs, big Head Start programs would measure this. And they find out that the kids who have music do better in lots of things. They do much, much better in math. They do better in language. And the other thing that's really big is they develop confidence.
Oh.
They
yes.
develop, oh, I can do this. I can do these eggs.
Yeah.
Oh, that kind of sounds nice.
Yeah.
So the other benefit of these parent-child classes is that the parents learn together. So much of our society separates children from their parents, or even lines children up by their age.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
This is the baby's class, this is the first graders, this is the fifth graders. You know. So this is not like that. You all come with whatever musical ability you have, and you go from there. Mm-hmm. And it's all designed with no performance expectations. So we're so accustomed to being perfect, and oh, I can't do it because I could play wrong notes right there. Mm-hmm. You know, well,
you wouldn't want to do that in front of an audience.
No.
Heaven forbid.
So that's how we're
right?
all trained.
Yeah, yeah.
But this is musical play.
Mm-hmm.
And parents can play too.
Mm-hmm.
Parents can learn to sing on pitch. And the other thing is, this is my own personal theory, that these music classes help children focus. The class itself is set up so I kind of let them out and they can develop their large movement, mm-hmm. whether it's running or running to the beat of the music, marching. We do a lot of large movement activities, but then bring them right back down to focus. Mm-hmm. With a finger play or something mm-hmm. like that. Mm-hmm. And so there's many, many benefits that can be realized into life. My favorite story right now is that my very first client, if I call this young baby who came to me at 3 months old in the first year I taught, so it's mm-hmm. 2000. He is now graduating high school, and he's the valedictorian. So it's
Wow.
like,
Yeah.
he never left music. He played piano. I juggled the lessons so that he could do all the sports and all the things that were, you know, calling him. And
Well, that was really nice of you to,
Yeah.
to do that.
yeah, well, it's
Maybe a little bit stressful for you.
yeah.
But,
There's been stress,
but,
definitely. What time am I going to eat supper tonight?
So how does music class benefit the grown-up who attends the class with their child?
They get to see how their child interacts in a group. A lot of these children who come, I'm their very first teacher. So they get to see, you know, how shy is their child? They get to see how their child learns. And we have different ways that we learn. Some of us are visual learners. Some of us learn by hearing. Some people look off, little kids will look out the window and act like they're watching something going down the street, but they're probably listening to what's going on. You know, this is informal education. So the parent gets to have a better understanding of how their child learns. And then the parent gets to lose that concept that you have to be perfect to be a musician. So the parents can let their little inner child come out and really play. Get down on the floor and really play. Not to hand their kid a device as this, here, play, I'm busy. We do it together. So they get to do the same thing together, and the result is that there's a very special bonding, a very special closeness that goes on between the parent and the child for doing this together. So there's many benefits. And sometimes they learn to keep a beat and sing on pitch if they never had the opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
The parents become more musical too.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, so it's really good for the grown-ups too.
It is. It's good exercise.
Yeah, you know, like singing is a breathing exercise.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, okay, how does music fit in with the way children learn?
Well, that's really about that play aspect. If you give a child, well, a little baby, let's say, okay, now they've gotten up on their knees, then they're scooting around a little bit, and then they pull up on something, and then they stand up, and then they balance, and then they take a step. You know, so that's all comes from, nobody's showing them how to do that. So once they're there and this whole world opens up, then it's discovery. Experiment and discovery. So they find some lovely glass dish sitting on the coffee table, right? Uh-oh, there it is. I mean, nobody's intending to hurt it. It's just there, and what is it? You know, and I feel very fortunate because I get to see all these stages. And my studio has a knotty pine floor, and walls. And I see little kids come along when they're at the crawling stage and they see a dot and they go like that and they try to pick it up and it's a spot on the floor. You know, and it's all discovery. So I put out a bag of instruments, a basket of instruments. And every class has a time where they could choose. You know, there's a nice variety. And so they come up with all kinds of ways that I'd never ever thought of to, you know, make these things make sound. It's a lot of fun, actually. I have a great time doing it.
So it's a learning experience for the teacher too.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so what is a typical class like?
It starts with a ritual song, and it ends with a ritual song. So that is like a boundary. Okay, this is music class, and now we are going to do this. Do you want me to play you that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
This is a very famous song. The song is called Hello Everybody, and it is in, I get my numbers right now. The program I teach, Music Together, has gone around the world, and I think there are 55 countries that have music together. So they may be singing it not in English, but they would sing it in the language of their country.
Okay.
And it goes like this. Very simple. Hello, everybody. I'm so glad to see you. Hello, everybody. I'm so glad to see you. And then I go around and I acknowledge each person in the class. Hello to Gail. I'm so glad to see you. And then they'll go around to everybody and it comes back to me. Hello to Kate Barlow. We're so glad to see you. So it's like a signal done without words, really. Now we're going to start music class. I just play the introduction.
And they know it's time to start.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So everybody gets ready, and it acknowledges each person, and then the next thing in music class is I do something that makes them pay attention to me. And sometimes it's totally crazy. And a finger play right now, there's one I'm doing, I have 10 little fingers and they all belong to me.
Oh.
I can make them do things. That's a little chant. Another one would be, oh, I like to sit in a nice hot tub, splishing and splashing. And that goes on. I like to walk in the rain and the mud, splishing and splashing.
Oh.
Excuse me, and it ends up, and I like to watch while my doggy takes a drink, and you get down on the floor and you lap the water like your doggy, splishing and splashing. So whatever it is, it calls them right in.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, I go to an activity where they're still all mostly sitting on their parents' lap or their grandparents. Then I do an activity that reminds the parents that they're the child's most important teacher. So I call it my dyad activity. So if I were the little kid and you were the parent, I'd be sitting on your lap and I would do something that we could do together. Maybe it would be a rocking song. Let me think. There's one coming up in the summer program. It goes, zoom, zoom, riding in the car. Here we go, here we go. So it's a bounce. Zoom, zoom, riding in the car today. And you turn and you stop and you sing in the car. You can make up all kinds of things. So it's imaginative.
Yeah, you know, kids, sometimes I think children are a lot more creative than
They're very creative.
than people realize. I remember we learned a song in school. It was one of those really old-fashioned songs. It was the one about 4 and 20 blackbirds baked in a pie, you know, and I remember at home I learned the song in school, but they didn't teach us motions, but then at home I made up motions to go with
Do you remember them?
Well, I remember towards the end of the song there's the part about the bird snipping off somebody's nose or snipping somebody's nose, and then you know, it was like bird, like I pinched my nose and like that, but my mother didn't believe that I made the motions up. I heard her kept saying to my father, you know, oh, they must, their music teacher must have taught them that. Like, she didn't think I was old enough to be that creative or something, you know. So it was like, I kind of got mad at her, you know, because she just didn't really want to believe that that I had made up those motions myself. I think it was there was something about the king counting money and the queen was doing.
I just
something.
know the beginning of that.
Yeah, I
20
just
blackbirds baked in a pie. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't remember it all, but I do. The thing that I remember is making up the motions to go with the song, and nobody wanting to believe that I could have possibly come up with all that myself. So,
But you could.
but I could,
Well,
yeah. So,
There, even the youngest baby has a sensitivity to pitch, and they probably have a characteristic gesture. And one of my kids, it was this.
one of your own kids, or
Yeah. You know, it was always that, and you could tell that she was excited because that would go like that.
as soon as she get excited,
Yeah,
she'd do that.
Yeah.
So,
Excuse me, I have this frog.
yeah, we've been talking a lot. Yeah, so yeah, I know I've seen things with kids, certain motions that they make.
I have stories that get told to me by the parent, and they usually say, "Well, you know, you do most of the singing in class, and Johnny's kind of just standing around, kind of, you know, because they don't have to sit at the desk with a piece of paper and pencil at all. They're sitting on the floor.
Yeah.
You can wander, you know, you can go look out the window or whatever you want to do.
But you're still being exposed to music.
Oh yeah, you're in the environment where music goes on. So I gave you 3 things about the class, and there's usually 12, and one goes right into the next.
Oh.
So there'll be large movement, and I use scarves, so you can build body coordination.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like an exercise class.
Absolutely.
Too.
The parents talk about, well, I don't need to go to the gym today. So.
Okay, you seem very passionate about the Music Together curriculum. What are the components of the program that you appreciate the most?
I like the fact that it is accessible music. It is not music that was written 300 years ago and got handed down, you know, there are some things like that.
There are
Brahms'
a lot of
lullaby,
songs,
you
yeah,
know,
that
and that's in the
have
program.
been around forever.
Forever.
Yeah.
I like the fact that it is modern in its approach because we have become a global society in our lifetimes.
Right.
And the curriculum includes songs from around the world. One of the best egg shaker songs goes like this. Abwisa sa na na, abwisa na sa. That comes from Ghana. So children are exposed to other languages.
Oh, yeah.
And then they are exposed to other meters, different ways of music that are not just straight old folk songs from America like Yankee Doodle, very 1, 2, 1, 2. So you might be exposed and become a favorite song of something that was, the notes were arranged differently than they were in our, and there's every semester has songs like that. And I think that's right, for our children to know about, and to be able to appreciate, to be able to find, if you love salsa dancing or something, you like that music, to be able to have the skill to find that mini beat in there so you can dance along too.
Right.
So it's worldly that way. It's not all, the music is varied tonality. So you would have what's called major sounds, bright like Yankee Doodle or This Old Man, he played one, he played knick-knack. No, those are major songs. It will have minor, different modes, different combinations of rhythm, how beats get organized in twos or in threes, like a waltz. It's da 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 da, 1, 2, 3. You know, so you know, without how I learned it was in school. Okay, beats are organized in threes. This is how you conduct it. 1, 2, 3. You know.
Oh.
You know, this is experiential. Oh, this is fun. There's a song right now I've been doing. It's called Stick Dance.
Oh.
And you could play rhythm sticks. We play rhythm sticks to it. But it's in 5/4, which is asymmetrical meter. And it has no words. It just goes la 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 la. You know, it puts a smile on my face. It's about the happiest song I know. And these songs are short, so you repeat them, because that's how kids learn. That's how we all learn, is through repetition and by trying. We learn by doing. So, and then there's all. I think that's the most. For me personally, I think it's a gift to be, as a senior citizen, to be involved with young children.
Oh, yeah.
And to be maybe their first teacher, or not their introduction to music because they've heard music, but that they could do music too.
Right.
And it's a real gift to my life.
Yeah, you are lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is quite something.
What if the caregiver isn't musical?
Well, there's all kinds of stories about caregivers becoming more musical after coming to class, but the children, the caregiver, the parent, the grandparent, they're the person who teaches the child the disposition to be whatever. You know, the disposition to be musical. If they smile and laugh, because there's a lot of laughter in music class, all kinds of stuff goes on, then the child has a happy experience. And you know, anybody can teach skills and facts and you know, all of that, the knowledge part of it. But the disposition, children learn that from their immediate grown-ups that are close to them.
Oh, yeah.
So they become a role model, a musical role model, whether they think
they are or not.
Right. There was a story that I've heard in my training that there was a man named Harry Belafonte who brought calypso music.
Oh, yes.
Right. Well,
Yes,
Harry Belafonte lived in New York City, and he had a little kid who went to a daycare center. And the little kid came home and said to Harry Belafonte, "Oh, Daddy, why can't you sing and sit around and sing with me like Miss Mary, say, the teacher?" And so Harry Belafonte decided, well, he guessed he'd go to school and see what it was all about. And he went to school and he found that Miss Mary couldn't sing a tune. She couldn't keep on pitch. But she was doing it. And so we all learn by doing, so. You know, he loved her voice, the little boy loved her voice, and she did it with him. Whereas Dad was out making the money to.
He was the one making a lot of money.
He sure did.
Yeah. Okay, we've already talked about how music is not just for the talented 15% of the population. Did you want to add to anything to that at all?
My first thought is that, well, in our culture, music is used for everything. And it's so used that we don't really hear it. I mean, there's the elevator, the famous elevator music, but you can't go to the grocery store without music. You can't do anything
Well, you know, I remember hearing a few years ago. I remember hearing a man singing a song to his little baby boy. You know, and the father wasn't actually carrying the tune really good or anything. But I remember thinking the important thing was that he was singing to his little boy, and they were just enjoying being together, him and the baby, you know, and he was enjoying having his father sing to him. You know,
Yeah.
so okay. So how are your classes organized? And do they run year round?
I run classes year round. I'll show you the collection. This is what I'll be starting to teach in July. This is
Summer songs.
Summer Songs 1. It's a compilation of favorites from
okay.
others. But
Okay.
there are
Hold it up so that
there are 9.
it can. The
So
cameraman
when you
can
come
get
to
it.
this program with Music Together, there are 9 collections.
Oh.
So you can go 3 years, and then the summer is in the middle of it. You know,
Oh.
so it's fall, winter, spring,
Uh-huh.
fall, winter, spring, and then summer in the middle.
Okay.
And the sessions, I call them semesters, are organized into usually 10 weeks. And the families, some families come, they find out that they absolutely love it and their child loves it. That's why they keep coming. And so they will come to all 9 collections. And then by this time, if they brought an infant, by the time they get to here, they're going to repeat it. Then their child is now at least 3, or maybe 4. And so the next session, they don't remember so much about this, but it's a deeper kind of learning now. So then families come in and out as things happen.
Oh, okay.
You know, they have another child. There's a new baby.
Right.
So the mom is not going to be bringing the child for a semester.
Your classes are predominantly for preschool age children?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Now, Music Together does have a new program, a pilot project that's coming on board that I've taught this last year for a couple of semesters. That's called Rhythm Kids, and that goes to age 7.
Oh, okay.
So that's brand new. This one was founded in 1987
Oh, okay.
by Ken Gilmartin. He is the man that wrote that Hello song.
Oh, okay.
He said he always knew he had a famous song in him, but he never knew it was going to be a kid's song.
Oh. Okay. Let's see. We've got about a quarter of an hour left here.
Okay.
We'll try to get through these questions. How does one learn more about the Music Together program if they're interested?
They learn just like you do everything these days. You go online and you put in www.musictogether.com. One word, Music Together. And they have a fantastic website that directs you to the basic of their program, locations. You can put in your zip code and find where's the closest class to you. Locally in Chautauqua County, we have 2 centers. My center that's located in Fredonia, and I kind of do the North County. I go to Silver Creek, I go to Westfield, I go to Brockton, I go to Dunkirk. I kind of do that.
So you actually travel around too to do classes?
I have a big suitcase I load up. And then Karen Suber, she has a program called Yellow House Music, and she does it through Infinity in Jamestown.
Oh, so that's for
it's the same program. We teach the same music.
Okay.
So, and Music Together is very organized. It's a wonderful, wonderful company. And when you become a licensed teacher, then they check out who's the closest teacher to where you are and how many people you can run to, to keep your center going.
Okay.
How many families. In New York City, there would be more than one in a block because of the population.
Oh, yeah.
But here in
they would have
Chautauqua
to.
County, our population is fairly low.
Small.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, how can they get a hold of you if they're interested?
Well, they could go to musictogether.com and put in their zip code, their local zip code, and I would come up. Or I have a web page. And my webpage is based on my farm. It's called barlowsmill.com.
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 Okay.
But if you just call up any Google search, you can just say young child music classes. And if you're in, I'll come right up. I pay people to make sure I come right up.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. And, okay, there's a couple more questions, and then maybe we'll have you finish off the program playing music.
Yeah, I could demonstrate some of these songs, the different parts of the song. Oh, thank you.
Oh, okay.
I could...
yeah, there were...
I could also play a piece of music for you.
Yeah, yeah. There weren't really music classes outside of school for very young children when I was a child. We went to a weekly music class within the school.
That's how it was for me, too.
Why are there classes now? Does that have anything to do with the fact that people are realizing it's important as well as fun?
I think so. And as we have developed more knowledge just about life in general, especially brain, about how the brain functions, there have been classes developed in colleges that introduce people who want to be teachers to all this research that's gone on and how people grow, psychologically, neurolinguistics, all of that. And music has just fit in with that. It's just an increase of knowledge. And young people today who are having families, I think they just expect there's classes for their children.
Oh, yeah.
There's dance,
it
there's
seems
karate.
like you hardly ever meet a young adult person with children whose children are not going to some sort of classes.
That's right.
You know,
there's all kinds of classes, and music is one of the best, really, really one of the best. For the, it's not so that the world is going to be filled with musicians. It's so we're going to be capable adults who can think independently and make good decisions and have enough self-confidence to get out into the world. You know, there's so many benefits.
Right. How do caregivers and parents use what they do in class when they are home with their small child?
Well, this program not only gives them this music book, but comes with a CD.
Oh.
Yeah. And now, in the last, I'd say, 4 or 5 years, this music is downloadable.
Oh.
So you can have this music on your phone.
On your phone?
On your phone.
Wow.
When you register for a class, this all comes. And so my phone, I'm with my granddaughter in the grocery store, and she wants something, and I say, we're not getting it. And she has no emotional maturity, so she's going to try to get it the only way she knows, which is probably scream.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I can click on my phone a music song that she knows because I play this music at home, and we have a little basket of instruments at home, and we do all these little musical things at home, and she pays attention to that. One of my favorite stories happened a while ago. It was my own granddaughter. She had been taken by her parents to a children's fair.
Oh, okay.
And I was at that children's fair, and I was distributing brochures as advertisement for my class. And I saw them, she was 2. I saw them trying to get her to leave. And they were walking along, and they were by a church that had an iron fence, and she had clung onto this iron fence. And they were coaxing her in their most beautiful, most, come on, And I just came along, and I would have never known this if I hadn't been trained, but I said in my best operatic voice, "Oh, Emma, what are you doing?" And she did that, and they picked her off the fence. So it gives parents another skill. I think that today there's too many directions. I mean, it's all directions. Oh, we're going to do this now. We're going to do this now. But a song has a beginning and an end, and the directions are given in the song, about what we're going to do. So you can use songs all day long. Time for the diaper change. La 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 la. You use the same song every time, and it becomes a play. You turn things into play. Little children, they have trouble with transitions. They become quite stubborn. I like what I'm doing right now. And you can kind of coax them along with a song. Bedtime is the perfect time for songs. You can use a song from the bathtub into the pajamas, through the stories, into a sweet song that you sing at night. And this Music Together collection each of them have about 2 lullabies, so that's 18 lullabies. When I raised my kids, I had 1. Da 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 da. We sang it every night, But and I made up words, like you made up motions. But there's a lovely, lovely lullabies. So.
Okay.
So you can use the music all day. And so music becomes a part of life. Before recording, people used to do this.
Use just to
music,
sing and so forth.
Well, sailors, before engines were developed, sailors used music to work together. Haul away, So it becomes a tool, but a very happy tool that fits with our human nature.
Oh, sure. Well, we're down to just a few minutes, and I wanted to say thank you for coming on today. And I would think it would be nice if you finished the last few minutes playing something on the keyboard for us.
So I thought, the time is 4 minutes, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I thought I might do a song from this collection.
Okay.
And then I have this theory that human beings are really like birds. Birds all sing. We really are musical creatures too.
Oh, yeah.
So I just thought I would do a crazy song first.
Okay.
And these are very repetitive, so I will just do a little bit of it. I don't have my, 27. This is called Fun at Home. So you take the music and all the crazy things we do in music class, and then you can do them at home. The one I'm thinking of is not in that book. I'll just get it out of my head. My setup here. the famous words of this one are cock-a-doodle-doodle-doo, doodle-doodle-doodle-doo, cock-a-doodle-doodle-doo, doodle-doodle-doodle-doo, cock-a-doodle-doodle-doodle-doodle-doo, cock-a-doodle-doodle-doodle-doodle-doo. Potato, potato, put 'em in a pot, stir 'em up, boil 'em up, and pour 'em out hot. Hallelujah, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, cock-a-doodle-doodle-doodle-doodle-doodle-doodle, cock-a-doodle-doodle-doodle-doodle. So it's crazy. Pancake, pancake, pop 'em in a pan, fry 'em and flip 'em and catch 'em if you can. All around the kitchen, cock-a-doodle-doodle-doo. 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 Jelly in a cup, jelly in a bowl. Wiggle, waggle, wiggle, waggle, eat the jelly up. All around the kitchen and it goes on and on. And it's very rhythmical, it's fun, you can make up all kinds of verses. And another one, you can take any song you can think of and turn it into a lullaby.
Oh.
Like here's one I think everybody knows. You know that?
My Bonnie lies over the ocean.
La 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 la. And then the chorus, the bring back is rock, rock, bring back my body to me. Something everybody knows, and you rock your child, and they learn about rhythm by feeling your body rocking. So this, the song I brought to play for you is comes from my piano teaching.
Okay.
I wouldn't have known about this composer if I hadn't been going through music in a music store, and I found her music and I just sort of fell in love with it. Her name is Eugenie Rochereau, and usually wherever I go to play the piano, I take Eugenie with me.
Okay.
This one kind of fits in the philosophy that we're like birds, that we are, human beings are musical. And this is called Flash of Wings.
Okay.
And when I play it, I think about the bird coming up out of the reeds, maybe, and then flying and gliding. And it's called Flash of Wings, so you can kind of get that idea.
Okay.
So I'll see what I can do half standing. Okay.
Bravo. Well, I hate to say it because I'm having so much fun, but we've run out of time. And I will see the rest of you in the viewing audience in a couple more weeks.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me. This is my subject and I love it.
Oh, yeah.
I just love it.
Yeah,
so.
well, I'm glad you came.